The 2020 DTM season finally got underway at Spa-Francorchamps. Robin Freins on pole position for the first time in his DTM career, making a good start with Nico Müller, last year's championship runner-up, coming under fire from the reigning champion René Rast, who got up the inside of him on the way into La Source for the first time to grab second place. Mike Rockenfeller just behind with a good start in fourth position, and Timo Glock in fifth. It was side by side then as they thundered down towards Eau Rouge for the first time in the race, with Müller and Rast still side by side as they went through one of the most famous corners in the world. Müller coming out on top, and then Rast in third place, coming under fire from both Mike Rockenfeller and Timo Glock as they ran down the long Kemmel Straight for the first time. His mirrors full of the two cars just behind him. So it was Freins from pole position from Müller, Rast just about hanging on to his third spot from Mike Rockenfeller, Timo Glock next up, and Sheldon van der Linde sixth in the very early stages of the race. But Müller was able to get through quickly into the lead of the race, moving ahead of Robin Freins, with René Rast struggling and falling back down the order on the tyres that were starting to degrade in very hot conditions at Spa-Francorchamps. Again, a look as this run down into Eau Rouge shows just how close the battle was between Robin Freins to the near side of the pitch.
Go, go, go.
Meanwhile, it was in for the mandatory pit stop for the race leader, Nico Müller, who had been managing his tyres well in the race. He continued to lead. René Rast had made a good pit stop, though, and closed the ground, and was now effectively running in second place after that move on Robin Freins. However, the race would become much more difficult for René Rast in the second half of proceedings. Müller put in some very quick lap times upon putting the new tyres on and began to edge quickly back away from René Rast. Robin Freins in the chasing pack, trying to find a way through some of the cars that were later to pit in the race. Then this move with René Rast struggling with his tyres, losing 2 places in one, going from second to fourth as both Robin Freins and Mike Rockenfeller were able to get past the reigning champion. René Rast absolutely powerless to stop them coming through as he began to really struggle with his tyres, and he fell away very quickly indeed. Robin Freins then immediately afterwards losing his own position to Mike Rockenfeller, who'd been the quicker of the 3 drivers. Rocky now up to second place overall. Robin Freins on for the final spot on the podium, but the pole sitter too beginning to struggle with his lap times. Loic Duval had made good progress through from 7th on the grid and was managing his tyres well in the number 28 Audi. He then came alongside Mike Rockenfeller to steal a place on the podium. Rockenfeller now going backwards himself, and with Jamie Green, who'd made excellent progress from 11th place on the grid, absolutely flying in the closing stages of the race. The British driver dived up the inside of Mike Rockenfeller to take the place away and get himself up onto the podium. But Jamie wasn't done yet. He was quicker in the remaining 2 laps of the race, closing the gap all the time to Loic Duval, and then he pounced with just 2 laps to go, putting the number 53 Audi up to second place. A terrific drive from the 6th row of the grid. But the day belonged to this man, Nico Müller, last year's championship runner-up, taking the checkered flag at Spa. So a fantastic first win of the season for Nico Müller on the Swiss National Day, winning the race by nearly 20 seconds in the opening round of the 2020 season. Jamie Green and Loic Duval joining him on the podium for the first time this season.